Who's your emergency contact? Who should you notify in the case of death? Welcome to the USP, where I spent the last 2+ decades of my life. It's raining out today. The weather's cooling down, so it's hoodies and jacket season. If you guys are interested in the stuff that I'm wearing, my BMA gear, I had my website collapse, and I'm redoing my website. I'm gonna relaunch my brand. When I first came out, I was kind of gun ho about doing some things, but didn't really know the business aspect of it. But I'm putting a team together, and we're gonna relaunch our campaign. And if you guys like this channel, if you guys like the content that I bring to you, if the stuff that I'm sharing with you is informative and entertaining, and you guys want to support the channel, man, in the next few weeks or whatever, I'm gonna put the link down below for you guys to hit my website and order some gear and support the cause. Well, today, it's a USP series. I'm gonna touch on a few things that I've touched on before, but really I just want to emphasize on being aware of your environment and who's on the compound. Through my career that I've been there's been a few people that's hit the yard that, regardless if you're black, white, or Mexican, you have to be aware of them. And one of the dudes that I want to touch on today is a dude named Ray. I believe he's from Baltimore. I could be wrong as far as like what region of the country he's from, but when I was in Lompoc, when he hit the yard, the impression they gave me was that he was out there, towards Baltimore, Virginia, Midwest, or the East Coast, right? But his dude, black dude, when he comes on the yard, the whole yard was buzzing about who he was. And the guy that informed me about him was my friend Mike Wilson, who I told you he had the yard for the Black Gorilla family out of the Bay Area. Now, there's two branches of BGF, one that's out of Baltimore and one out of the Bay. And me being on the West Coast at the time in Lompoc, all the BGFs that was there were out of the Bay Area. And I mentioned these names, these organizations, because, like I've always said, there's different levels to this gangster stuff. There's different levels to these different organizations. Now, BGF in the federal system, they're considered DPG, disruptive, a DG, disruptive group. Only certain categories of gangs are labeled as disruptive groups, meaning that they have a lot of influence, meaning that they are some serious individuals. The Black Hands are one of them. The BGF are another, and the DC Blacks. The AB, of course, the brand, the one out of California, not the other ones that just adopted their names, but the brand, the Black Hand, the BGF, and the DC Blacks are considered disruptive groups. You're not going to find too many of those people that belong to those organizations in any lower security level, like FCIs or Lowe's or anything like that. If they're confirmed members, they will always be in a USP, unless, they're a dropout or whatever. But when we was in Lompoc, Ray hits the yard. I'm walking the yard with Mike, and he's like, see that dude over there? There's a dangerous dude. He didn't get into the details of, what his cases were, so I don't know what his cases are and why he was there. or anything like that. But, being in an environment that we are in, we always have to be aware of who's around us because sometimes look can be deceiving. But anybody that's been around for a long time or has been doing a long time, there's bound to be things that transpire that gives people a glimpse of what this dude is about. During the course of my time, there's only been a handful of names that when somebody hits the yard, the whole compound talks about them, knows about them, and hips their people about them. Because one thing you want to understand is that at any given time, you could be going to war with someone or with a group. And, the art of war, if anyone's ever read The Art of War, in there they teach you that you have to win the war before the fight. The fight is just a formality to get to the end result, but you already have to put in place things to ensure your victory. And the one thing to ensure your victory is understanding and knowing your opponent, knowing who you're dealing with. So through the course of my time, we would go through scenarios like, okay, we get into with this group, who out of this group is the more potential danger and who we can not put too much focus on. I'm not taking anything from anybody, right? We're all in the penitentiary. We all have the potential for violence, especially when our back is against the wall. But at the same time, there's people that walk around like with their chests out, like they're tough. But you see by the way they react to things or the way they don't react to things, if they're really about the business or if they're cowards. And it's just stuff that you automatically store in your head by being perceptive of your surroundings. But some of these individuals that come through, they leave no doubt in people's mind that they're dangerous. When we was in Lompoc, there was a Sereno that hit the yard from 18th Street named Koko. As soon as he hit the yard, I don't care if you were black, white, whatever other race, you knew about him. The stories about him already preceded him before he hit the compound. And the people that are in positions of leadership, of running cars, is their responsibility, is their duty, their job to make sure that everybody on the yard is accounted for. Meaning that they know exactly who these people are, what they're about, and what their potential level of danger are. So, like I said, Koko from 18th Street was one of the dudes that when he hit Lompoc, everybody was telling me about him. Dudes from different races. And these not just dudes, when I was in Lompoc, I was just a youngster. But I really grew up and learned from the old heads. For whatever reason, I'm grateful for that these old heads took a liking to me. So a lot of I hung out with the youngsters playing ball and all that stuff. But when it comes to my education and me learning the art of survival in there, it came from the old heads that been around for 20 plus years, you know. So Koko was one of them. When I hit Atwater, DC Tone was the other one. As soon as I hit the yard, everybody let me know who's who and what's what. And the guy they pointed out was DC Tone. DC Tone, they say he's the Black Bruce Lee. He's like that with his hand. But being dangerous is not just about your ability to fight. what makes you dangerous is, one, that you're a man of principle, and when push comes to shove, you're going to handle your business, and when they do handle their business, it's going to be bloody. Because there's plenty of people out there that knows how to fight and all the rest of that, that's big, but in their hearts of heart, they might be cowards, because they might be able to push up on somebody that's smaller than them because they know how to fight better than them, or somebody that doesn't know how to fight as good as them. But being able to whoop somebody doesn't make you tough, because the ones that are truly dangerous, they know their capabilities. So they know that if certain things happen, it's going to get serious. So they conduct themselves in a way that demand respect, because they know, I'm going to walk this line. I'm not going to disrespect any man, regardless of your skin color, regardless of your stature. So when I give you this respect, I expect it back, no exception. And if you don't give me back that respect, I'm going to hurt you. Right? So with Ray, how you know he was a dangerous individual, we had an incident in Victorville, when we got sent to Victorville. And I shared this story before about this little incident, but today I just want to emphasize on, a different level of gangsters, the different level of men, and the different level of dangerous individuals. I had a homie named Slim. He's from East Coast Crip out of California. And in the Fed system where I was at, I think the East Coast Crip had more numbers than the rest of the Crips. And they go hard. I don't take anything away from them. On the California yard, when it comes to the blacks, it's the Crips yard. When it comes to the white, it's the AB's yard. When it comes to the Mexican, it's the Black Hands yard. And everybody politics their own and everything and all that. But push come to shove, if any of these groups insert themselves in a situation, then what they say go. And if not, they have the means, they have the will, and they have the numbers to enforce whatever issues they're trying to enforce. So the homie Slim, me and him got real cool. When we used to work in the law library together in Lompoc, and then when we went to Victorville, we both got caught up, and we were both in the step down program. So I chilled with him and a couple other his homies, playing cards and all the rest, just passing the time. So we both get put back on the compound, and it wasn't even about a month, right? One day, Slim, when he drinks, he kind of gets loose with his words a little bit, and just I guess it's natural for anybody that wants to get a little alcohol in them, that they might not be in full control of whatever their behavior and all the rest. But anyway, he went and disrespected Ray. Now Ray, like I said, he was a very dangerous individual. But Ray is also one of them dudes that is confident in who he is and what he's about. So when Slim disrespected him, he didn't take off on Slim. He didn't do anything to Slim because he knew Slim was drunk. So he waited till the next day. The next day, I live in 2A, Slim lived in 2B. Right after breakfast, Ray went into the unit. Slim, I don't know if he forgot the interaction from the day before while he was drinking, because he was a sitting duck. He sat down playing cards or watching TV or whatever, but he was a sitting duck. Ray Ray walked up behind him, pulled out a knife, and stuck it to Slim's neck and told him, "Yeah, I could kill you right now." And this is being told to me by the dudes in the block. But afterwards, when this happened, Ray Ray calmly put the knife back, walked out of the unit, and went out to yard 2 in Victorville. Because in Victorville, the yard is split. You know, you got 3 yards that is fenced off, and yard 2 is the middle yard with the gun tower. They said, "Ray Ray, I was on the yard when the thing transpired outside, and then later on, somebody told me, you know, why it led up to what it led up to." So Ray Ray went to the unit, pulled out a knife, and stuck it behind Slim's neck, and told Slim that I could kill you right now. Walked back out calmly, and Ray Ray's outnumbered. Like I said, he's out. I believe he's from Baltimore. I'm pretty confident he's from that way, but don't stamp that. But he knows what he's about. He knows he's outnumbered, and he knows that this is like after this move, Slim's not gonna let it go because that's the Crips yard, and they're not gonna allow somebody to walk up on you, pull a knife on you, and there's no repercussion because that's gonna make them look bad. And everything about the penitentiary is perception. You know, we all that live this life, we all expect certain things to happen, certain reactions to certain issues, and so on and so forth. Everybody, if you're anybody about anything, you know the procedures. So Ray Ray goes back out to the yard, goes into yard 2, and sits on a bench. Of course, Slim's like, "Man, fuck that, this and that." Wayne got his homies, and they all ran out to the yard after Ray Ray. I'm already on the yard. Ray Ray's sitting on the bench, and I don't know why or what's going on at this time. I just see all the Crips come out, East Coast Crip. There was Slim, Asmo, a couple other ones. So they came out, they all got their knives out, and they're all kind of circling, surrounding Ray Ray. Ray Ray pulls out his shit, and he's standing there waiting for him. And they had another East Coast Crip named Droopy. Droopy, a little dude. You know, he's smaller than me, but he's a little nut, right? Droopy comes through the gate, and at that time, they were in kind of a little standoff until Droopy just went in there and just went at Ray Ray. And Ray Ray's solid, yoked up, and from everything that everybody's told me, he knows all that martial arts stuff. Like, he was a very dangerous individual. And Droopy went at him, and they started going at it. And by the way they were going at it, there was a blood dude named Border Rat, who was another old head. He jumped in and helped Ray Ray, right? Of course, the altercation didn't last long. The gun, you know, in Victorville, when we first come to Victorville, right under the gun tower, they had a sandbox with sandbags, and it had a sign that says, "Warning shots here." So when we first got to Victorville, when an incident happened, the tower would open up the gun, you know, the windows, stick out their gun, and shoot a shot into the sandbag. Boom! To let everybody know that's your warning shot. After that, your ass better get down on the ground or you're gonna get hit. But after a couple months that we were in Victorville with all the craziness that was going on, they came, removed the sandbags and the sign, and put a new sign up there under the gun tower that said, "There will be no warning shots." So as soon as the altercation happened, the gun tower popped their windows open and shot. Boom. He didn't shoot anybody or anything, but I've been shot at by the gun tower, and I promise you, when you hear that loud ass noise, you're not gonna want to be standing up still. You know? So when that happens, all the CEOs come in or whatever, they detain the situation and take them in. Like I say, in California yards, the Crips run the yard. Now Border Rat is a blood, but the East Coast Crips, they have more people, and as far as like the gangs go, there's more Crips on the compounds than there are Bloods or any other gang, no, hands down. So the Crips went to the Bloods, and they said, "Hey man, that shit ain't cool with what Border Rat did, and Border Rat needs to go." So the next day, they sent two dudes from Bloodline. I think they were two prospects that was trying to get put on with the organization called Bloodline, and these two youngsters went over there and tried to hit Border Rat. They went over there, they caught him in front of the unit. Border Rat lived in 3B. I lived in 2A, 2B's across from me, 3B's on the other side. And on the walkway to the Bloodlines, went over there and tried to hit Border Rat. But Border Rat's an OG. He's been around. He's been down a while. He's been into it. Ain't nothing soft about him. I think he grabbed somebody's cane that was walking. Somebody was walking by, had a cane. So he grabbed somebody's cane and he was whacking them while these dudes was trying to stab him. But they all went, again, the deuces go off and they all get taken to the chute. But the point of the story is this, Ray could have went there and did Slim dirty. Like he's got a life, as far as I know, he got a life sentence. And he's been in incidents before. That's how everybody on the compound knew what kind of man this guy was, knew what he was about. But he also one of them dudes that, I don't know, I'm just gonna put myself in his perspective, in his thought process, because I don't know what anybody thinks, but I I think I can confidently project myself, because I would like to think that men like us, I'm including myself now, maybe not back then, but now, we think a certain way. You know, he knew that Slim was drunk, and maybe some of the things he said or whatever he wasn't in his right frame of mind. And before he go and take somebody's life, for him, he wants to let that person know why you're losing your life. So when he walked up there and caught Slim slipping, stuck the knife to his neck, he was letting Slim know, like, yeah, you're not aware of your surroundings. You're not conscious of what you say and do while you're drunk. And definitely, you're not conscious of who the fuck you're saying and talking to. And I'm letting you know that I could have killed you right here. But instead, he practically gave Slim a pass, went out there and waited for his homies to come out, and they got it in. And they didn't hurt Ray or anything. Like I said, it didn't last long. It's just a bunch of arms flaring, because everybody knows what Ray is about. And if you're going up against him, you might not be so quick to be so close to him, right? But like I said, the homie Droopy, he's a little dude. He's the one that set it off. When they first came out, they were just kind of like on a standoff until Droopy went up there and started busting the move. But yeah, the point of this story is that, in there, there are some very dangerous individuals. And you might not know that because they stay out the way, they carry themselves up to the highest standards. You know, when they deal with you, they're always 100 because they know if you're not 100 with them, they're going to come and get you. So on their part, they're always going to be 100 with you because they believe in integrity and honor and respect and all that. Welcome to the USP.